Hey everybody. Uh, we're going to have a very special segment. Let me see if it's in the ceiling. Trying to see where the camera is. Is it in the ceiling or is it on me? It must be in the ceiling. Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted in the ceiling. Um, I have a very special young lady. I'm so proud of her. We talked maybe an hour or so today, and she was one of the women because I've gotten this request over the years by more than one woman, and I really appreciate the fact that the women are listening of different age groups, and you let me know that you're listening. I was gonna sit and do a live, but I'm tired right now. Child, Miss Shirley done wore my ass out. I just cannot please her. I'm just gonna have to do a little bit at a time. I'm gonna take a break, or I might get up and finish tonight because I asked Shannon when I got off of the phone. I got off the reading. I said, "Is your grandmother really demanding and picky and like what do you call those? Like I guess in a way obsessive compulsive. Like they want things their way, and everything has to be straightened up in the house or moved to the way they want it to be." And she said before her grandmother got sick, she was like, "Y'all gonna have to get all that stuff up. Y'all gonna have to move it this way. Y'all gonna have to throw those things out." Everything had to be straightened up and structured the way Miss Shirley wanted them. And if you did not do it, you were going to have a bad day or bad evening because Miss Shirley was going to win. It was going to be her way or no way or the highway. So, yeah, hello everybody. So I said she was like that about clutter. I said it's not even no food or trash in the boxes. It's just boxes and paper because I order a lot of products and I get a lot of shipments and unfortunately, and candles and all those things. I said I have a lot of boxes and I don't always take them out because when I take them outside to be for the trash to pick them up, the boxes have to be um smashed a certain way. I can't just sit a whole box out there or they won't pick it up. So that's why I wanted somebody like a man or somebody to crush them for me. Uh, because it's difficult for me to have to step on and crush and smash all the fucking boxes. It's really fucking irritating. Miss Shirley said she did not care, that she did not want to talk to me, and she could not relax and get comfortable unless I have the house the way she wants the house. So, hi Paula. As soon as we finished the video, I did what I said and I moved the box out there to the edge of the curb where the Herbie Kirby is because she said that the box was getting on her nerves and that the box in the house was getting on her nerves. Hey, everybody, I called Shannon. I said, oh boy, your grandmother, would you please tell me, is this her? And she starts laughing and she's like, yeah, I was tell you about it. That is her. She don't like clutter. And the empty boxes right there, if they didn't have nothing in them, she was like, you're right, she didn't want them in there. And even if they had some in them, she felt like it was your job to organize them, get stuff out of the boxes, get the box out the house. I'm like, girl. Well, we're gonna have to talk about Miss Shirley because I want to please her, but I can't do it in one day. But I think as long as she sees me trying, that might help. So anyway, I moved that one and I started packing the other ones up. I'm gonna have to crush them up because they won't let me sit them outside whole. That's like I think it's the homeowners association as well as the garbage that picks everything up. They have all, how in certain places you might have these stupid ass rules. So anyway, I talked to a woman and I talked to other women who asked me to do it, but I think that the reason why I was going to do it for her, I told her I would have done it privately for her in a reading and given her the information. And she, okay, big old wizard. You know how some people just have their pet peeves and they're set in their way. And basically, even though my house is my house, she let me know if you want me to hang at your house and you want me to eat here, I'll tell you what I want. But, and you want, Shannon wants you to speak to me, then it's a certain way you're going to have your house if you want me to be here as a guest. And I'm like, oh my God, what a bit. Then I was just like, Shannon, is your grandmother really difficult, or can she be really bougie, or child just really bitchy? Or she's like, not bougie, but she is set in her ways. And my grandmother was like that before she got sick. It's like everything has to be this way, that has to go. It's like no clutter. And I'm like, but I'm tired, Shannon. You know that a lot of times I don't feel good and Granny don't care. She's like, that's her. You're hearing the right person. That's her. And I didn't know that when I was taping, I was going to tell her when it was done. She was looking at it. And I'm glad people could see. They said they could see the blue and the sage, the incense, the Nipsey blue. I couldn't see it. I had to go back and watch it. I'm glad y'all could see it. I usually do, but I guess too when I'm sitting. And I used to do the readings. If you go look back at the love sessions I did to Nipsey and the Strawberry Moon sessions, when I'm just sitting there, you can see the blue and the different colors coming out of the candles behind me and out of the sage. Really beautiful. He taught me how to make that sage for him. Never seen that type of sage before. Anyway, the woman asked me, she said she did not want it in a private reading. She did not want it all to herself. She wanted me to share my version of Alexis K. Tyler, vagina power, power of your period consecration, and cleansing. And you know what, this is so deep to me, and the way that the spirits bring it to me, I can't give it all to you and explain it all to you in the sessions that she donated for. And she couldn't really do, a lot for donation time, but then at the same time she shouldn't have to. Other women should chip in and donate for this as well, because she's selfless about it. And she's like, I don't want it just for me. I want it for everybody. So since nobody else donated for it but her, I'm not going to go into every single thing. And plus, I cannot. It's not worth it to me. It would take hours to do. It's levels to this shit. And based on her story, hi everybody, it is her story is so painful. And just listening to her, I spent a lot of time on the phone with her today. I just wanted to, when she sent me the email and asked me to do this, I wanted to see what type of person I was talking to. And she has a story that's very much like mine. Um and what's so powerful about it, like I said, I think it's October 14th. We're dealing with what the, it's some type of eclipse or full moon. Because I'm not looking at it and I'm not remembering it correctly. Can y'all fill me in? October the 14th. Is this an eclipse on October the 14th, or some type of moon phase where it's a birthing? It's a creation or birthing. And it also, they're saying, some people are saying it's tied into the war right now with Israel and Palestine. And I'm not sure if Muslim activity. Okay, solar eclipse. Thank you, Big Wizard. This is very powerful for women standing in vagina power, or you're cleansing and you're growing and you're learning to stand in vagina power. When you are, I guess, let's say, dealing with her, it's so many levels to her. And she reminds me of myself so much, because we experienced and are experiencing the same thing, and her period is on. If your period's on this week and going into the 14th, 15th, 16th, you should have your altar set up now and do your uncrossing baths, your cleansing baths, your uncrossing floor washes. Everybody in the house should be involved in it, and your whole house, your car. When I tell people to do uncrossing of your baths of your body, uncrossing of the house, the car is an extension of it. If you have one, if you're using or borrowing one, you should wipe it down outside, inside, even tires and your work. So if you work outside of your home, you can just take some wet wipes or something and like put it inside of the wet wipe bottle. So when you pull the wet wipe out, they don't know that you doused the wet wipes with some of your uncrossing solution. Um, you have your little care kit, your disinfecting kit covered, with Lysol or something, or Lysol kit. Cleanse that area down because you don't know if somebody dislikes you on the job. You don't know if somebody put something down across you for you to walk over or rub your desk down and shit and your seat down for you to sit in it and tie your own self up and don't know you doing it. So I told my clients before to go and wipe. I mean, it looks like Lysol. It smells like a Lysol wipe, Clorox wipe. They don't know the difference. You put a few drops in there. Wipe down your area, your station where you're working at because different people do sit at desks when you're gone. Cleaning people sit at desks or do nasty shit when you're not there. Somebody's targeting you. I've had people come to me and some of them I refused because I don't like to help people hurt people that have not hurt you and have not caused you misery. Just because you don't like another woman or you're jealous of another woman or people will go and it's a lot of people that will do it for you, no questions asked. They'll just hurt somebody just because you can afford to pay them and they just like to do it. And so I have had spoken to people. It's like, I work with this bitch. I don't like this bitch. This bitch thinks she this and that. And I want you to make her get fired. And I'm like, did she try to make you get fired? Well, no. I'm like, did she get you wrote up? No. Did she file a complaint to your supervisor or your boss? No. Well, so why do you want to do that? Because I just don't like the bitch. And I said, mm-mm. See, I don't want to participate because I've had too many people do dirty shit like that to me, and I didn't do nothing to them just because they didn't like me and cause hardship in my life. And that's when I did not believe in magic. When I did not believe you had to uncross yourself and fight, I believed that Jesus will fix stuff for you. And if you're a good person, then the truth will be exposed and the person would suffer. Like it says in the Bible, that's not always true because people will do magic to try to do dirty shit to another person and then block the karma so that it will not come back to them. So I don't go around hurting or helping other people hurt innocent people just because you don't like the person, but people will do it to you. That's why I'm warning you. And you want to do this every month. I even say every week. If you're somebody like me where people always say they want to kill you and do black magic and try to make bad things happen to you really want to do some type of grounding and cleansing and protection every day because your life depends on it. Because you have groups of people trying to kill you that you don't even know that ain't even did. You didn't do anything to them and they just lie and say that you did. Just like you see a lot of people lie on me and make up shit on me that they cannot prove. I'm still waiting for the proof about the wheelchair and the wrinkles and the section 8 and the mental problems and lying about my name change. I'm waiting for all of it. I'm here for it. That's why I did my videos. Cripple well, wheelchair well, handicap well, wrinkles wear, section 8 wear, bitch. I'm waiting. And you see, because people say things about me like that all the time they cannot prove. See, those are forms of psychic attack. And you have to learn not to let people use their pussy against you as a weapon, they vagina power against you. Because see, not only does your intestine start at the tip of your tongue and go all the way down to your anus, so do the lies that a woman tell. Life and death and cruelty are in the tongue of a woman. Hmm? A forked snake tongue of a woman. And a lot of that shit that's in the tip of her tongue that she first thinks up and creates the energy for. The energy is around it, and the energy produces a vibration and a sound and a word, a letter and a word that also comes from the root of her cock, a root of her stankin' pussy in her period. Because see, what y'all don't understand, women will fight you with their period. A woman will take her period blood and she could use it to curse you and she could use it to bless you. And it comes through her tongue. When a woman likes to fight and attack another woman that ain't did nothing to her but make up shit like they make up shit on me, then I'm still waiting for the proof. And I know you all say I don't have to prove nothing and show nothing. Yes, I do. If people tell me they respect me, they love me, they admire me, and they don't demand that I prove it, no, I still want to prove it to you. I still, if somebody's gonna take up for me, if you really love me, you won't just listen to people attack me, you'll take up for me. And I see the people that do love me take up for me. I give you receipts. I'm sure you all see, even though you didn't make me show you, you see ain't none crippled by drip, ain't none handicapped by drip, ain't no wheelchair for drip, ain't no walker for drip, ain't no cane for drip, ain't no wrinkles for drip. None of that. None of that. None of that. And I'm still waiting again for receipts. But see, that comes from a stinking, rotten, bloody cock bitch. Bloody up in her ass, and it's rotten dead blood. Dead, dead, dead blood. Crypt keeper level blood. Because a woman with living waters and living life coming out of a uterus, even though people say that's waste coming out from a period, it's life and it's death in it. And the more rotten a woman's insides are and her intestines are, and the more sick her mind is and sick her spirit is and narcissistic she is and egotistical she is, the worse and the more stinking she is and the more filth that spews out of her mouth. Now, knowing what I know and knowing and nobody taught me, if I were to be growing up and having an older woman cook for me, even if it's a birth mother, because my birth mother's rotten to the core like that. If you hear a woman gossiping like that about other women, like I heard my grandmother, my mother, all the women in our family doing, I would not eat her food. I wouldn't drink behind the bitch. She couldn't pour me a glass of water or motherfucking milk or tea. And I don't care what how good a cook she is, because she has venom in her fingers, venom in her mouth, and venom in her ass. Venom in the blood that runs through her veins, and she is poison. And even if her food is delicious and her energy might be nurturing to people around her, she has poison towards females. Because I saw my grandmother, my mother, and all the females had poison towards each other, family members attacking family members, attacking other women in the neighborhood they didn't even know or didn't do nothing to them, because you jealous of them, or you jealous of the man that they got, or something they got, or something on them, or on their body and shit, or something they got that you want, that you feel like you don't possess, so you justify attacking them in your butt. Women attack each other in their pussy and in their butt, through their mouth and through their energy and attitude, because that energy reverberates through every aspect of their body, their home, their movements, their engagements, their sex life, their friendships, their work, their money. It flows through everything in your life like tentacles, and it will hit the woman that eats behind them, and that is the target of their psychic attack. If she listens to it, or she's in contact with anybody that they know, or they pass the gossip and the woman gets it, it starts to poison her, and it then attaches to her womb and her period. Remember, blood flow is the energy, life force, and it can bring life or death. And the vibration of the fluid of the period ties into the chakras and the auric fields and goes right up to the mind of the person and into infinity, because the chakras go into infinity, up down, left, right, front, back. That's how chakras move to me. That is how I see them. There is no ending to them. That are also connected to the nerve system, the central nervous system, and the nadis, the energy portals and points, and into pressure points when you're dealing with reflexology. All those levels and layers are tied together and tied into the female reproductive system, the nervous system, and the blood. And what's so deep about this, and I was explaining it to the lady the day I was speaking to her, and I was saying, you have to catch some of that blood. Are you saving some of it? She said, no, I don't. My mother didn't teach me anything about that. My mother didn't teach me about how to be sanitary. And it was a story she was telling me. And I said, but you didn't do anything wrong. You intuitively knew. She was saving the napkins together uh, to dispose of them. And she said, nobody taught me. My mama didn't tell me. I didn't know what to do. So I just started collecting them and wrapping them up to keep them from smelling so that I could discard them. And she was a young girl. And I said, there's nothing wrong with what you did. You listened to the higher part of yourself telling you, instead of just throwing them in the trash can open around your brothers and sisters and strangers, you discarded them perfectly, but you started to collect them, fold them up very tightly, and pack them neatly together so that there would be no odor. She said, I didn't do nothing wrong. I said, no, baby, you didn't. She just didn't know where to then discard them. So she was collecting, and there was no odor to them. There was no hazard, no leak or anything. She did the best she could with the as a very young girl with no mother guiding her. And I told her I knew what that felt like. And then I said, please, you don't have to save all of it, but you could save a small percentage of it in a way that it dries out so that later on, in case you lose it, because it's not about age. And there are women that are younger, they have accidents, or they might get some type of infection or disease or fibroid tumors, or they'll go through menopause early, even 20s or 30s, and have to get a hysterectomy, and they have no blood saved because they have no knowledge of it. They mamas and nobody else taught them, oh, that's witchcraft, or you going to hell. That's a negative thing. But life and death moves through the blood, moves through the bowel, and moves through the blood. And also, you have to deal with the epigenetics of a period, because it's important to know if you're adopted, you will take on the energy of your adoptive parents. However, if you can find out who your natural parents are, your biological parents, it is good to know that, because there's epigenetics of the blood and everything around you and about you, because ancestors become reincarnated and alive again through a egg that is fertilized and started to develop into a fetus and an individual human being. You think you're an individual human being, you have a name, and you're a woman, but you are a collection of other spirits, good and evil, young and old, developed and underdeveloped, and very immature. You have to find out who they are walking with you, and even cursed or disembodied beings. That is very important, dealing with my life and people that are similar, because I heard my grandmother always tell my mother that my mother was crazy and stupid and dumb, and then started to say it about me. And all the women started to say it about me. My own mother started lying on me, making up filthy shit about me. And this is when I found out my mother, as well as my grandmother needed to be tested too and diagnosed, but people looked over that shit with certain matriarchs. It depends on how you're seen and how you know how to play the different roles and the different archetypes of personalities, where people will excuse and look over a certain woman if she's the cook, the caregiver, she raises her children, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren. Everybody looks at her as the glue that holds everything together, but then undercover, she's also a gossiper and a motherfucking shit starter and a head busser and a throat cutter. It's hard to kind of turn your back on her because she's also the mother, the grandmother, the great grandmother, the cook, the cleaner, the nurturer. She never says no. She sacrificed herself for everybody, but then will cut your fucking throat at the same goddamn time. That type of mama and grandmama is hard to really cut her out of the family dynamic because she makes it up. She holds big mama, grandmama. That's usually a very dangerous shit starter, a one that can make you or break you because she's so kind and loving and compassionate. She cooked the best food. Everybody come to her house for holidays, funeral days, death days, birthdays, church days. The preacher come over there and eat and shit. I mean, she's every goddamn woman. And she also is Santisa Muerta at the same goddamn time. She's the Virgin Mary, Santisa Muerta, and the goddamn hoe mixed all into one. And the chef and the barber, the babysitter, the baby maker, the wife, the girlfriend, the home and lover friend, the teacher. God damn it, she meets the preacher. She help you with your homework. She glue your goddamn it dumb ass goddamn projects up there on the refrigerator. She got all the goddamn markers shaped like bananas and pears and fruits and cartoon characters and shit. And she mark off her X every day of the goddamn week. And your birthday is a spectacular event. She do it all. She's every motherfucking woman. But she also has that 7 Up and that pineapple goddamn it upside down cake in one hand, and behind her back she got that axe and that goddamn razor blade for that ass. So it gets confusing dealing with a bitch like her. Because she's very manipulative, cunning, shrewd, deceptive, and a supreme narcissist wrapped into one. And it's hard to see that because she will be compassionate. She will be there at the hospital when you have your baby. She will be there at the funeral home to make sure you got all your clothes you need and you got some makeup or get somebody to get it for you. She will laugh with you when you're happy and the baby coming out your ass, and she will cry with you when the baby going in the goddamn ground. See, and then be everything in between. That's Big Mama, see. She just right, big old with had that orange sherbet on the side. I got them, I like that butter pecan, goddamn it, with them cookies and shit. She'll bake the cookies pie. She's everything. And at the same time, she could be fucking your whole world up by stabbing you in the back. And I saw this and grew up around this shit as a little girl. They start to do this to the little girls. You're threatening to them, and when they see you as, sure, she had a girl. But then the boys is always celebrating and rejoicing. See, that is in your period. All those ancestors and those entities are in your period. All the thoughts of the mother. Some people say that it's the last trimester of the pregnancy where all this stuff from the mother is dumped into the child. The feelings of thought, I say, from the very mental conception of the child, you are taking on a piece of the soul of the mother and the father. And if the mother is twisted and sick and she doesn't want you, she's just doing it to keep this man, or because this is what this man wants, you're going to feel it. And you're going to feel inadequate and very insecure. And the mother's going to remind you, even if it's subliminally, the way she carries you, the way she eats, the way she doesn't eat, how she treats you in her womb. And you're really going to get it when she gets out, when you get out, unless she secretly smoke dope, snort dope, shoot up behind the man back, because you're just a means to an end in a motherfucking way. See, this stuff is in her blood. And even though the infant develops its own blood, it still has a portion of the mother and the father and a portion of the DNA. So when a woman comes into that family and she starts to be abused mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in the womb, and then she gets out and the mother starts to abuse them and manipulate them, and then the mother has mental problems. The grandmother and the other women in the family have mental problems. Even the nigga widow, they have mental problems, and will let the child be abused and stand back because he's also narcissistic and obsessed with fucking the mother. The daughter is going to have a lot of troubles because the women pass that thing down to generational curses, and a lot of them have curses and magic on them and spirits on them that travel through the blood, travel through the DNA. And then when the woman is little, she might be psychic and very impressionable and intuitive with her chakras busted wide open when she's born. And she doesn't know that, and it goes directly to her vagina. See, that is the power in the portals. But you don't tell the woman. And on top of that, the mama crazy as a goddamn Bessie bug, goddamn it. Speaking of that, quickly, I'll do that later. Like I told y'all, that damn football player wasn't told y'all he killed his mom and bust her in the head and humiliated her and made fun of her and saw her as a cartoon character and drowned her. I was so angry. I hated him so much with that little shit that he was up there doing and talking about Nemo and swim and all that shit. I said, please arrest him. Spirits, please go get this motherfucker. Bring this mother. I prayed on this motherfucker and counted on this motherfucker. I wanted him caught because I knew he did that shit. And then he up there talking about some fake news and she did, something the police did. And I said, they're going to get y'all watch and see. This fucker did that shit. And somebody sent it to me yesterday and showed me that they got him, which would also go to the womb of his mother. See, she probably secretly knowed her child was slick throwed off at a young age. Not only was he probably damaged from being hit in the head, that CTE or whatever they call it, but also genetically, epigenetically, and through her blood. That boy was slow. He had the predisposition to be thrown off. Don't let him have secretly got high or taken drugs, and then secretly something wrong with his butt. That's what I'm saying. Something wrong with his hind hole. His hind. Like one of my friends told me that it was this orphan boy. He was a gang member. He was an ex-gangbanger though. And when he was a gangbanger, his leader, his OG he looked up to, was taking care of this retarded boy who really could not complete sentences, but best would just say one word here or there, whatever you taught him to say or what he heard. And he said that when the boy got to be a teenager, because see, this is what I noticed about retarded people. And the boy was mental slow and like retarded. He was born slow, but he was kind of big, like not fat, but he was tall, and I think he had a very muscular build. They say them retarded men have some monkey dicks on them. So they have some long abnormal dicks on them. I don't want to find out because I ain't never fucked nobody retarded or nobody slow or nobody going to a mental health hospital or institute to have mental health medicine because they say they have big dicks on them, big and long, swinging down their damn leg. I mean, I have talked to women that some of them have messed with some boy that be kind of mental off like. This guy was telling me the boy was slow. And he really wasn't consciously aware of himself like that. But I guess, because the boy grew up around him, he had to get the boy a bath. And the boy like, huh? No. Yes. Like, he was slow like that. Like, couldn't really carry out a whole goddamn sentence. And say he wanted to get the boy some pussy, for his birthday. He got to be like, about 15, 16 years old. So he would come over there, bring crackheads over there and prostitutes over there, give him a few dollars to fuck that retarded boy. And so he had the women's in there hollering because he had so much dick on, like real long and fat and thick. And so they tried to, know how to handle his retarded ass. And, the boy couldn't really talk good to express what he felt, but he clearly liked pussy because said when the prostitutes come in there, he have them hollering and going they behind. See, I don't know if he was just, Lord have mercy, say he was doing anal. Vaginal and anal, and said his name was Jimmy. Said, you want some hole, Jimmy? And said the boy get horny every few days, every day. Hole, Jimmy. Want hole, Jimmy. Now that's his name. So he called his own name. The boy's slow. He don't really know how to put words together. So he looking at the man that's taking care of him like a daddy figure and shit. You want hole, Jimmy. Hole, Jimmy. As that man to go get him some hind hole and then bringing these damn, crackhead prostitutes in there. And they sit there and do the shit because they wanted the crack and a little bit of money. So they had to smoke the crack and get high on it just to take hind hole Jimmy because they said, boy, hind hole Jimmy had a dick on him. And, they couldn't really goddamn handle that shit. See, It's spirits on handholds, Jimmy. And that was a very destructive one for them to carry it all, have the rationale and logic and reason in they goddamn mind. All this stuff moved through puss and dick. So those are portals of information and knowledge. Just like people thought I was playing when I did the video at 20 years ago, Penis Power said the dick is like a heat-seeking missile. It does what it does naturally and through the hormones, the high levels of testosterone and the high level of a sex drive. And it doesn't, it's the biology of it and the drive of it. And it's not logical or rational. It doesn't deal with rhyme or reason. It only deals with the program that it is supposed to manifest and whatever spirits are associated with that program. And that's all in blood and genetics. And so whatever voices, hurts, pains, things that are unresolved within that woman and within her, the females that came before her, they will stack themselves up in a woman's period. And they will move through the woman's attitude, lack of an attitude, thought, rationale, reason, even the bitches irrationally stabbing and backstabbing the females in her family. And this is all programmed and registered in the little girl. So you see these mental problems, these emotional problems. The women will start shit and start attacking other women as little babies and little girls. And then they will say they didn't do anything wrong. Or I didn't say that. I didn't do that. Knowing that they did it. I saw women this way who will basically lie. Sit there and be a good person like my grandmother and then turn around and be a treacherous, backstabbing, lying bitch all wrapped up into one. It's hard to see bitches like that coming because they're so nurturing and kind and giving. You know how some women are just matter of fact good people. Like the way they come off as generous and very kind and matter of fact. They're naturally that way. They take that natural God-given gift and ability and will use it to stab you after they use that same hand to just serve you a beautiful plate of food, to give you a beautiful compliment and turn right around as soon as you turn your back and give you the most disgusting and insulting insult to you will wonder when you come to their house and you come in the room with them and other women in the family, why is everybody treating you fucked up and why does everybody get quiet? And your grandmama, your mama, whoever is the only woman that all of you have in common. But when you come in the room, they laughing and talking and the whole room pauses and look at you like you stink. And you're looking at your mother, your grandmother, the woman that everybody goes to and trusts in common. And you're wondering, why is it that everybody knows you don't like me? And why is it that every time I walk in a room with you and all these family members of other women, they get quiet and look at me with disgust and turn their head and keep laughing and talking about you? Because it's a dirty, cutthroat, lying, bloody ass bitch. And if she's your relative, this stain, this scarlet letter, this curses on your period and in your blood, these bitches clearly have mental problems, mental issues, and have a false ego and superiority complex and superior narcissist, supreme narcissist, that she feels like her shit don't stink and I didn't do nothing to you. They can do wrong shit to you and justify it in their mind so deeply and then say I didn't say it, I didn't do it. So they not even in touch with reality and they have no guilty conscience about what the fuck they did to you that they said they did not motherfucking do. And then you wonder why the little girl starts to talk to herself, or she's hearing voices, or saying shit talking to her, or she pee in the bed, or she can't sleep at night, and she feels something in there, or something's crawling on her, or nightmares, and nobody else sees and hears it, and said the little child is touched in the head, the little child has mental problems. And if someone will really notice this, they will start seeing and hearing these things like I did as a little girl. And like this lady I was speaking to today started hearing voices. And some of them telling her, excuse me, just went out. She's answering because she can see and hear them. If either one or the other, I could see and hear. The lady I spoke to today could hear. And they're telling her to do destructive things to herself. And she didn't feel comfortable telling anybody. And then she started having psychological breakdowns, like mental breakdowns. And I think she said the first one she had that everybody knew about, she was a teenager. And I bet you, I'm going to ask her if she can confirm it to me when she listens to this. I bet you she probably already had a period. Now, before them issue of abused, violated, misused females physically died and then decide to reincarnate and regenerate through the blood of your mother and then give birth to you, because our ancestors do not reincarnate. It's certain ones, the more dominant, the higher vibration ones that want to relive their life, that fuck their life over because other people sold them out and they believed it and tried to get other people to love them instead of being strong enough to love themselves and being called crazy all their life. Some of them will try to do it. And some of the ones that are dirty and narcissistic as fuck and get mad at all of them fucking everybody over, then somebody fucks them over, or they'll attract a disease or violation. They don't realize they still have to physically die like everybody else. They'll want to come back and redo that shit again, or pick a certain ancestor they want to fuck over. They'll attach themselves to the womb of your mother and they'll regenerate themselves, and you start reviving them when you get a period. That's what people don't tell you. You'll start to enliven them, just like you're putting fertilizer in dirt to grow different vegetables. That's what the period and the hormones do. They will actually resurrect the consciousness of that type of female and reinforce the lies told to the woman as a little girl when she's hearing these voices. She's an empath. She's a psychic. She's clairaudient, clairescent, clairvoyant. But they're telling her you're seeing and hearing demons. You're seeing and hearing aberrations. You're a paranoid schizophrenic. You are seeing things that are part of your imagination that you're making up that don't exist, honey. You're crazy. You have a mental problem. They start treating the little child that as the mothers. Not only are they evil in their own pussy and go around fucking other people men, taking their men, or mad because they can't get one, or they niggas keep leaving and dumping babies on them. So they'll then start to vampire and feed on the little girl, and then feed on her friends and feed on her men as men start to come around and get interested in her as she starts to release hormones and develop and menstruate. You want to take her life from her. You want to take her life force from her because you're bitter and you're angry, and then will start to humiliate, degrade her. And they know, many times a woman will know the period coming on before the daughter does, because since it's through epigenetics and ancestry, they usually start having a period at the same time. They will lose it at the same time. They will go through menopause at the same time. Or they might start having female problems and hysterectomies at the same time, have a female pattern baldness at the same time, or a male pattern baldness, depending on the strength of the daddy's genes moving through there. Many things are choreographed happening on the genes, or not happening based on the genes. You'll see a family of women where they don't keep a man. They have to raise children alone by different men. They don't get married, or they get their ass beat at a certain age. They start drinking at a certain age, or doing drugs at a certain age, or get a certain disease, whether it's a mental, emotional, psychological disease or a physical disease, at the same age. And they don't put the connection together because they don't know their ancestors. They don't know their history. So this cursed blood is moving through their veins. And when their period comes on, many times those curses and those dormant females that come back to life and resurrect themselves are moving through the period. So not only does a woman have a funky, filthy energy along with the filthy diet they're given, They are consecrating and reanimating the souls of these sick ass women with sick wounds that did not get healed in life and physically died and did not get healed in death. And they will then reattach themselves to the DNA of the young woman that's having the mental, emotional, problems and aberrations that are appearing for their before their eyes and that are talking to them that they hear in their mind, and the other women act like they don't know what's going on with this little girl and that it's not happening to them. Most of the time it's happening to the daughter, it's happening to the mother, or it has happened to the mother and she suppressed it for Jesus or some other religion or some other god. So they will then sacrifice certain daughters to go through that shit by themselves, and the period makes it worse, and the leaking out of death and living waters in the period will then anchor that stuff into the third dimension, and the woman is lost and all alone, and everybody is downing her, and they'll take her to a psychiatrist just to shut her up or numb her or dumb her down or slow her mind down to now she's a junkie and she doesn't feel and she doesn't hear or she doesn't see. But most people don't realize, because see, that's what almost happened to me. I'm hearing these voices, and through so much trauma and abuse from my mother and everybody else she let join in it, I don't know what reality is. I don't know what right, wrong, light, dark, up, down, because you lose segments of time. You're out of touch with reality. Not only when you're abused every day and you're not allowed to be a free person or to think or to have anybody outside of your life to tell them what's going on. You're isolated. You lose track of time because you don't develop normally or naturally, and your life is constantly in a cycle of trauma. So you don't really know what is real and what's not. And you hear these voices. I start hearing these voices, and I'm like, I've been told I was crazy my whole life and a liar. And when I'm trying to tell that this is happening to me, they're saying I'm a liar. And the adults believe these people who have money and influence, but are really sick and drug addicts and drunks and liars and paranoid schizophrenic, them down they damn self, and dealing with the dark side of the occult and demonology. And these people can't see it. So you're the one that's crazy when it's really not. You're the one that's the pure child that they want to suck off and they want to suppress and watch you kill yourself, or have the demons around them and the entities do it, or you listen to them and they're telling you to do the shit. So I'm hearing these voices. I don't have anybody to ask. So I went to a psychiatrist and actually a psychologist, different counselors, spiritual based, all types, so that I can see what is going on with me, and am I hearing this for real, or is just, and then the trauma on top of it. And this one doctor told me, you're not hearing it. It's not real. You have a mental problem. You're a psych patient. Everybody was saying I was a psych patient, or you're crazy. That you didn't hear that and you didn't see that. Basically what it is, they can't hear it. They can't see it. They're normal. You're not abnormal. You're unique. You're one of the small percentage of people that can see and hear things above the human realm. But these people don't train you for that and prepare you for that. And a lot of them are angry because they just cannot comprehend and hear, feel, see what you hear, feel, see, or get so frustrated when you say it to them and they just don't know. It's either that, and so they don't give a fuck because they don't see, hear, or know, and it's not a part of their life that they know of, but it is. It's all around all of us. Or they'll be mad because they want that gift. Usually the mother wants it and feels like she's stronger and superior and more entitled because she was born first and gave birth to the child, but that's not always true. So they will encourage you to stay in the dark and not know who you are and help you steal your power or help you kill yourself and discredit you, and basically everybody helps them discredit. I'm sorry. I was trying to turn off that alarm and accidentally put myself out of here. They will help you die, really. And then they all feast on you and consume your flesh, so you'll never rise above them. And nobody will never know how fucked up they really are. They'll encourage you to take these drugs. And what people don't realize is that I found out that's a whole secret society and a whole system that makes money off of exploiting your ignorance of the knowledge of the occult science that is naturally born in a lot of us based on epigenetics and different bloodlines. And many times doctors are psychic themselves and very intuitive, and they see these spirits on people, and they know that a lot of these people in these mental institutes are not mentally ill. These people are very gifted, but it scares them because they're not trained as little children like people that have occult families train their children. And the people in the family, including the mother, will distance themselves from the child and tell everybody that child is crazy. Something's wrong with the child. The child sees and hears things that are not there, and they will try to start institutionalizing the child early or medicating the child early and taking them to get medicated by a doctor. And these doctors already know who these people are, or they recognize the spirits on the child or the person, the adult that goes in there. And many of these people, I didn't want y'all seeing me just laying here relaxing, child in the dark. Many of these people are very, very gifted and um, looking for souls to steal from. That is so weird. Like, why did I just see my eyes? They were looking like a cat's eyes, like lit up in the back of the membrane. That was weird. Um, they'll start to steal from them and violate that child and then consume them and make them kill themselves. What the hell is them lit up dots in my? That's my head. Like, what the fuck? Damn. Anyway, I don't know what the hell. Y'all see them lit up dots? Dots? Like, what is that? Looks like eyeballs popping in and out. Please tell me you see that and that's not me. It's the fuck? Maybe it's my head. Maybe it's something on my bed. Okay, anyway, I don't know. But I realized that, and when they give you a particular drug, okay, it's a demonic entity. It could be angels associated with it as well, but if it's a drug to lower your frequency, lower your vibration, um, lower your heart rate, lower the way your chemistry functions and your whole behavior to make you like lethargic or like a zombie so you can't see, they're literally putting a spirit on you to weigh you down, to hold you down, to block your frequency and your ability to see. When, yes, I see the flashes, Nikki, too, on the sides of my eye a lot and my earrings. And then I'll see somebody moving um on the side of my eye. I can see the height, the color, the density of the body, the size. And I'm just like, okay, here we go. Um, then I'm going about my business unless it's something evil. And I'm like, wait a minute, your ass got to go, goddamn it. Let me see who you are or who sent you or what you know or what you in here doing. Then you got to go. Okay, with these particular drugs, you have to study the prescription that you're given, because although there are groups of people just like you're broken down in groups and categories, and those particular categories based on the entity that they're carrying And based on the personality and the experiences and what they say they're hearing, what it says, what it doesn't say, is it positive, is it negative? They have these drugs based on different categories and subcategories of certain people, and male and female. We know with males of this race, they particularly say that this person or that situation or that experience follows them, or they hear this, or somebody come and sit and talking to them, or an animal. They might have animals, they might see dreams, they might see visions, they might have lucid aberration experience where they see or hear somebody sitting with them, or a demon or a cartoon character or a ghost or another human. So based on that, this is the class of drug we give them. And with that class, that's what the spirits, and that's what Nipsey was telling me as well. There's a category, and there's particular a entity or a legion of demons that will then reign over the person, and it's all too dated in time based on your period or the lack of period. And there are different entities in your blood that, like, when they'll come up through the period, come out of your chakras and move around in your aura and hang around your vagina to attract certain entities and certain type of drugs or certain elements or compounds at the drug. They'll be drawn to it and have a certain color, a certain appetite, a certain day, a certain fragrance, a certain food, and a certain nigga. Thank you, Rhapsody, because that's what I was also going to say. That I noticed what happened to me when I started trying to experiment on that shit. Oh, a haint is basically like a dead person, a ghost, somebody that's unhappy, that's haunting a particular area, but more like the ghost part of it, or a apparition, not a soul being that got out of their body that's hanging around talking to you. This is like an apparition, like the intangible but parts could be somebody deaf and dumb. That's how the spirit function, retarded, like, or just the essence of the person, or like a phantasm of a person or a animal or a group of entities, a collection of a. I can't say it's a person, because when it's a whole person, they don't do that. They're not a haint, like a haunting or a ghost. It could be lower entities that settle in a particular area, or that were called there or living there based on the activities of the physical people and the bloodline. So they will haunt, or aspects of them will haunt a certain area or ground or house, a haint. Something that is not a mental, intellectual thinking part of a human being to ration and reason, do rationale, reason, and logic, and have a conversation with you. They don't talk. They will just inhabit a particular space and be a nuisance and a negative energy to a particular place. So when you, yeah, they're heavy or they're very angry, it's a residue, but not, like I said, it could also be a collection of lower vibration entities, demonic entities, not always human. So when you're dealing with this in these drugs, you'll have ancestors in your pussy and in your period blood and in the eggs that will pull that circumstance to you because they like the drug. But it's a detriment to you, but they're a parasite and feeding on you anyway. You have certain ancestors and women and even mothers that will feed on the person, and they know that the mental problem and the emotional issues and the hormonal issues will get worse during the period, because it's a release of the hormones that signal the period, you see, and ovulation. So it's a really bad curse, and it's a catch 22, because you have one with the other. And even if the woman goes into menopause, by that time she's so damaged and she's so scarred in the brain and in her glands and in her vagina, because they've taken her on a roller coaster of experience. And she's probably a drug addict at that point, either a mental health drug addict or other type of drugs she's indulging in, or drugs of the mind based on the chemistry of the mind and the chemical imbalances of the mind and the hormonal and emotional rush that she gets addicted to through very destructive behaviors and destructive thoughts that those entities, those female entities in the form of a human being and the mother, as well as the reincarnation of them through the genetics and the blood, rising up in the blood. See, do you understand? Like, I'm trying to let you see it how I see it. And the way these spirits teach it to me, it is quite complex and it's deep. So basically, I said that a little bit to say, let me try to give a solution. If the mother doesn't give it, and the child is then put in these institutions, or you put yourself in them because you start having nervous breakdowns, because you don't trust and believe in your own sanity and the security of the knowledge of your higher self and follow it instead of following the poisonous teaching and the venomous words of the women. They'll all team up like a pack of hyenas to beat down particular women in the family that they want to feed off of, or if they're jealous of something physically about the person, mentally and emotionally and psychically about the person. And they're taught by the grandmother and their mother to attack and feed on the female, feed on the daughter. If you live long enough, get the fuck away from them fucking bitches, because their blood is tied to your blood. You will not be able to break all the generational curses, although you are genetically connected to them. You cannot change that, but you have to lower and kill the frequency of the connection. And that can be done through food and herbs, but also even at this very moment, I have to start doing that. I've had to start doing that. You got to talk to, that's why I'm telling y'all, don't take no food from no female like that. Don't drink nothing from her, because it's connected to her butt and her ass. And her whole life she doing it. And she might not be physically putting anything in the food or poisoning the food, but it doesn't matter, because if she's strong enough to deceive you, like the type of big mama I'm telling you all that a lot of us have and that I had, and the type of mother that I had, she's a natural witch. She's a natural necromancer and seducer of women and men and children and motherfucking animals, and will create that seductive environment where you are just drawn in. You want her to be your mama, your teacher, your friend, your confidant. She has that energy where she has seduced you into seeing that she's an angel of light, when really this bitch is an angel of goddamn darkness and destruction, all in your ass and moving through your womb with her words, her deeds, and her motherfucking food and drink. Because every time she's putting a pinch of pepper, pinch of salt, a pinch of garlic salt and onion powder, goddamn it, and stirring that shit around, and a pinch of goddamn it milk and 2 or 3 eggs and a stick of butter and cinnamon and goddamn vanilla extract in that motherfucker. That comes her thoughts, her energy, her will, the vibration of her womb, and her blood moving through there to set up that frequency to seduce you and bring you in with that sugar and the aroma of that cake and that cornbread and them collard greens and neck bones and black eyed peas and shit. You being seduced with the higher witchy level of her that is good, but that is, it tastes so good, but yet so motherfucking evil and so motherfucking bad, wrapped up in a beautiful bow that you can't see her. Because it's like she giving you that castor oil or that castoria, but the bitch done put a thick damn tablespoon of honey up underneath it and stirred the motherfucker around. So everything that she is and isn't is activated in your womb. So you then start having a love and hate relationship with yourself. On some days or parts of the day, you feel good, and then other days you hate yourself. You compare yourself to another woman. You attracting a man that fuck around on you, or that can take you or leave you, that's hot and cold with you, supreme narcissist in a male body, but it's really that's your mama, your grandmama, and every woman in between there, because she is following you around in your blood. She's following you around in your period. You want to start learning basic candle magic and basic herbology and oils, and you want to start flushing every level of your mind. So that would start with a basic level of deprogramming and reprogramming of the conscience, and actually pulling the soul mind out of a ocean that it's been drowned in, baptized with lies and confusion and deception and misdirection of the knowledge of who you are. You don't even know who you are. You're looking up to them and believing them and looking at them for answers and truth, and all they do is lie to you. And then don't show you how to take care of your body properly. Don't show you before you're menstruating. You're supposed to do secret ceremonies and move into a rite of passage, just like a young man have a bar mitzvah. And the Jewish religion, you have rites of passages into your period, and the boys have rites of passages into manhood. You have to know your background and your bloodline and see what your cultures are, or even study different cultures of rites of passage and initiation, because it's never too late. Even if you still have a period or you stop having a period, it doesn't matter. You can still take the younger self going into the wounded mind of a little girl and grow her up and heal her and move through those ceremonies, create them on your own. It's going to take a lot of time because there's levels to the shit and there's layers to the shit. If your programming was as deep and brutal and violent as mine, that took days and weeks and months and years to do, it's going to take that amount of time to undo it. So you just might need to buckle in and get comfortable and go piece at a time. Now, I will say, if some of you need to go to therapy, if you need to go to a psychiatrist, if you need to take medication, that will be your decision. I don't judge it, because sometimes the shit will be so painful and so heavy, you might not be able to have a conscious mind or a right mind to really think about and delve into and dig into that shit without having a goddamn nervous breakdown, because it's really hard to believe that your mama could be that dirty and all the women and the men consent to it and put you in a circle, and they all start to eat off of you and feast off of you together, and then they treat you like your period is a curse. We were told we were nasty, we stank, now you're going to get pregnant. Then they start fearing you because your period is power too. And the women are the ones that treat you like you Eve. They the ones that say you are cursed and you're no good, and now she gonna get pregnant because of period on. But really they know because you smelling different. See, that stankiness is also godliness, because that aroma in your ass, now if it's stinking and smelling, that's your diet. That's the body needing to be cleansed. The bowel, the blood, the liver, the kidneys, all of that stuff should be detoxed. You should drink a lot of water, a lot of purified water, a lot of herbal teas, drink your liquid chlorophyll, do your juicing. I would say back up off of meat right then, even seafood right then. You want to do a diet as pure as possible. You want to do a lot of grounding. You want to do a lot of meditating. You want to do a lot of steaming of the body in a sauna, purification, pulling it through the skin, body scrubbing, body brushing, meditating. You want to do your chakra grounding and cleansing every day. You want to do, like I said, the uncrossing flow washes. Wash the corners of the house, even around the edges of the roof. You can wash the roof if you want, to the ceiling, under the bed, the four corners of it, all the corners of the room. You want to set up your consecration and purification altar with your candles on it. You want to watch your thoughts. You want to be journaling what you're thinking and feeling as you're purifying and bringing that blood up. And then you need to decide if you're going to store some and what percentage of it you're going to store, whether you freeze it or whether you let it dry in a towel or rag, whatever. I wouldn't say no Kotex or no sanitary, because I don't sanitary pad, because I don't really know. You have to look it up to see how to preserve those and keep those, or cut it down and wrap it and store it, or you're going to bury some under a big old tree, and to make a bond or pack with the earth and herbs and crystals down in there with it. You see what I'm saying? See, we got a lot of places we could go with this here. I'm just trying to do an overview of it, but give you the psychology of it and the layers of it the way that I see it, but that's a basic kind of telling you where to start at. And wherever you are dealing with self hate, self hatred, a lot on top of that, that woman that I just described, she's not only self hating, but she also hates you. But that shows she's self hating because you are her daughter, and your womb and blood is the extension of hers and all her ancestors and the ancestors of your father as well. But the woman's energy is very, very powerful. She know her scent. And see, a lot of time men will want to fuck you or be drawn to you once your egg come down and you have your period, that woman is saying you stinking now, you smelling yourself now, you hiding your ass now. But that woman feel you, and she gonna start, if she not securing herself and you have a balanced mother and father, whether it's your biological father, your stepfather, the mama is not gonna attack you worse. And sometimes your own daddy will start attacking you, like you can't sit on my lap no more, get away from me, being mean to you, because that man is not righteous and balanced within himself. And that stinking smell she said she smell, she know that that is making her enraged and want to fight you and beat your ass and turn on you, because she feel that her nigga gonna want to fuck you all the way down to the nuts. See, a lot of men get turned on by that smell. That smell is doing what it's supposed to do. Even that, so you have to really sit and soak your body, scrub down your body in certain herbs, and then even rub your body down in certain oils and massage your body. If you don't have someone to massage your body around your breasts, your nipples, up under your arms, your whole lymphatic system, massage that, massage your nipples, massage your navel, your clitoris. You're supposed to massage your body and have teas and even get your hot, what is it, like a hot blanket or water bottle, whatever you feel, to keep your body relaxed and massage and do your reflexology. And only have certain people you talk to and that's around you in your aromatherapy, and flushing all your systems in your body and activating and balancing your glands and opening your third eye, because it's everything gonna be wide open on you when your period is on. Now we are made to recreate, procreate, and replenish the earth. So if a woman is opening her vagina, pulling her the hood of her clitoris back, scrubbing, whether you're going to, you should scrub your vagina on the outside the same way, especially if you got hair on it and you want to keep your hair on it, or even if you don't, if you decide, then do you want to trim it, do you want to put a design on it, do you want to put a style on it? Do you want to have it bald right then? Because sometimes the hair will hold odor. Do you want to get your booty waxed, your booty hole, your pussy waxed? Or I would say during that period, unless you know it's a woman that's balanced and elevated, or a man that's balanced and elevated, you don't want nobody else shaving or waxing you right then. You want to do it yourself. You want to be meticulous. Don't just wash your body and wash the folds of your skin and open your labia major, labia minor, big lips, small lips, pull the hood back. You don't want to just clean it. Okay, I'm clean. You can put a mirror there too. Sit there and gap your legs open, because the body is a beautiful thing. Look at it and the beauty of it, because you need to know it in all the parts, internally and externally, better than your man or anybody else, and know your G spots, know how to please yourself. This should be a time of self discovery and exploration, not just cleansing, being very comfortable and being right, knowing that it's right, it's normal, and it's sacred. To look at your vagina, to know your vagina, to touch your vagina, to feel it, to take your time washing her, nurturing her. You want to get one of those what's that shower head thing where you could wash your body down, and just really as hot as you want to massage and relax and wash the body, and just get into the sensuality and the pleasure of the period and getting to know to self and knowing your vagina and feeling happy that you have a vagina and the beauty of it, that you're cleansing it with your drink, with your food, with your diet, with your herbs, you're detoxifying her, you're journaling, you're keeping a peaceful environment. You're not listening to gossip. You're not doing no gossip. You're not on that phone. No negative bitch. And no negative niggas. No negative lovers. No negative nobody. Negative. Shut that down because you got to find the negativity in you. You got to find the imbalance in you. And you got to pluck that thing out and then replace it with something, the divine equivalent that is positive. You cannot remove something in your life without finding a divine equal to replace it with. There's going to be a void. And if you don't replace it with something higher and better, once you've healed or you realize, look, okay, I do this, or I'm prone to attract this type of person, male or female, and this has caused me a lot of pain, or I'm prone to judge myself, to beat myself up. Okay, so during my period time, a lot of times things will become more sensitive. You become sensitive, you become more heightened and more aware of things. So if that is coming up in you, write it as it's coming up. Journal all this stuff, and every month look back at what the previous month was like and where you're at now, how you grown, how you develop, and you write that as well. But you got to pluck that thing out, because if not, while you are bleeding and those ancestors on you that are destructive are coming out of you and circulating around you in the first, second, third chakra, and even moving up to the heart and through the mind, that stuff, you will regurgitate that stuff and pull it right back in and recycle it and circulate it. That's why I said it's so important to ground and cleanse your chakras and ground yourself into the earth every day, so that you are pulling fresh energy into the body and you are plucking negative energy out to purify and consecrate yourself energetically, as well as, like I said, as you are feasting on a lot of live, juicy vegetables and fruit, and you are detoxifying and cleansing the blood with your probiotics, with your liquid acidophilus, even your liquid calcium, magnesium, your vitamin D, whatever vitamins you're deficient in, taking herbs to balance your hormones, as well as you want to take herbs to cleanse your female organs, your blood, your liver, your kidney, your bowels. You should be excreting all waste products and replacing them with your probiotics in the gut, even doing your parasite cleanse if you want to be leading up to it, because that should be 12 weeks, not just for the duration of the period. Now, of course, if you have an abnormal period, you have fibroids, you want to seek out, I would say, both types of uh, advice: a medical doctor as well as a holistic practitioner, as well as changing the diet and purging, because anything that happens to the female organs or the male organs is also a result of a lot of pain and a lot of trauma, unresolved mental, emotional, spiritual conflict, and curses. And these usually come from the family and the woman. So you have and this stuff lodges in the chakras and the auric field. So this, with me and vagina power and the way that it comes to me, I'm sure you're getting an idea now. I see this on, it's like an elevator to me. I got so many flows to go with y'all on this. It's a from goddamn it ground zero in the basement up to flow number goddamn 56. It's so many levels to it. I cannot give it all to you. And one video that the lady told me to share with her and to share it with y'all. But those are one thing that I would say: the bathing. You want to have a bathing where you sitting in Epsom salts, a little bit of hydrogen peroxide, and you want to have a scrub. You want to lightly scrub and stimulate your body with circulation and get the dead skin off, and you want to start brushing yourself. You can get a body brush to brush yourself, and like I said, get your lymphatic drain massage. If you want to get your colonics, if you don't do it yourself, somebody you trust to do it, or you can get it done after the period, right after your period, and you go in there, let them pull it all down in you. Be taking your different oils and your live diet with a lot of juicy fruits in it that have the natural waters, because many times plain water is not going to hydrate the body. Many times I'll drink water and I'll be like, damn, well, I'm still so goddamn dry. I just drunk the water 15 minutes later. I'm still fucking dry because I also need a hydrating food. I need food that got a lot of juice in it and natural water. Then I take that, I feel more hydrated. So, and you want to play games with yourself. Let's say as a child, you got to a certain level, or your mother might have taken you and took your toys from you, and games you like to play. Little girl, you might like to dance, and dolls. I want you to start collecting your dolls you like, your games you like. If you can play with somebody you trust, that the energy is good in the house. If you celibate, if you have a girlfriend or somebody you can play with, or a friend you can trust, or your child. If not, play with yourself. Have your little doll room, your little toy room, like you'd have your child, and you engage her, the wounded little girl, and all the parts of her that need to be restored and fixed and loved. And you be her mama, and you have your play dates with yourself, or if you want to have a pet or anything. But I'm telling you, at when your period's on, nothing and nobody should be more important than you. Now, I understand if you have children or someone you have to take care of, have that time cut out with them. But during that period, you need to be soul searching, and you need to be your priority. If you're celibate, that's even better, because if you're not in a happy relationship with someone else, you have to balance these things and understanding the detoxification of the body internally, because you won't smell. If you're detoxifying the body and you having wheatgrass juice, not the powder doesn't work as good for me. I like liquid chlorophyll, so I have a wheatgrass juicer. You can buy liquid chlorophyll as well. You have your greens that you juice them, or you put them in the blender. In between, you can have your smoothies in between there. A lot of living, very juicy foods during that period to be flushing. The bowel should be flushing, flushing through your urine, flushing through your skin, flushing through the mouth, flushing through the nasal cavity, the lungs, your butt. All this stuff you should be leaching out negative. Focus on it being negative. When you're expelling waste and you're sweating, you can go in the sauna to make yourself sweat, or create a sauna effect in your bathroom with your Epsom salts, and then get out and then massage your body down. Get your crystals. If you have a lot of self-hatred and a lot of pain and wounds, things like your rose quartz crystal, any other crystal that you are vibrating on based on your birthday and based on what you are drawn to, what you're trying to do. Black obsidian is for, protection and psychic self-defense as well as manifestation. Amethyst also deals with strength and protection. I want you to pick the ones that you're drawn to. You want to have your special love altar. And what it's going to lead to is, as you start to ground and know the rightness and loving your period, loving your womb, loving your vagina, looking at it in all of its glory and its majesty, because you are a god and you are a goddess. Then you're starting to prepare yourself to move into focusing on the law of attraction, to prepare for the right sex partner that will be whatever you want him to be, whether it's your husband, your lover, your life partner, your confidant, your friend, someone to help to balance you. The yin and the yang, the penis and vagina are totally right. But when you're moving from a place of God and you realize you're a God and you are the creator, and you move that even your magic with your period, it is very easy to manifest a paradise reality, because you realize paradise is in your pussy and your womb, and that's what you came here to do, as opposed to being told you nasty, you stank, you ain't no good, everybody gonna use you for arm candy and throw you away because you a hoe and you're dumb. Let me tell y'all something, that y'all, this is all y'all's fault, what you did to me. Y'all did this to me. I'm telling you that right now. And with Nipsey's influence in my life, like I told y'all, I never liked myself. I never loved myself. I never respected myself. I never trusted myself. I never felt like I was worth anything or beautiful. Felt like I didn't even deserve to be here and have space, but every other woman did. Why? Because that's what I was told. That's what how the little girls were treated, except the ones my grandmother and my mother and them liked. I wasn't one that I was never liked. I was never loved. I was never respected. And I think it hurts a lot of women. Um, it hurts a lot of women to admit that and to accept that and to say that, because it's heartbreaking. And I cried for years and I never found anybody to accept me and to love me. I have to say this, and I know that a lot of you don't agree with me when I say that about myself, and then y'all will say that's not true, Alexis. We love you. You know, we see the value in you. You are beautiful. Okay, inside, I believe I'm a beautiful person, a good person. And I used to think that would be enough to get me love and respect and get me where I wanted to go. That's not going to happen to you, because you have to have self-love and self-worth and respect. Even I would say in that way, think like a narcissist, because that's how they are. Now they have mental problems and they're delusional. They have these illusions of grandeur, believe they're better than you, they're bigger than you, and life belongs to them, and it's their world, and you just a squirrel trying to get a nut. We know that's not true. The world doesn't belong to a narcissist and one goddamn person, or all these people that think it only belongs to them and not to you. But when you think that way, usually narcissists are so scared of you finding out that they're fake and they're liars. They will work to be overachievers, to be everything to everybody, or pretend to be your friend, and they'll never say no, and they'll always answer you. And they work really, really hard to cover up their inferiority complexes, their insecurities, by achieving a lot in life, or money, or powerful, influential friends that have money to be around them. In their mind, I cannot fail. Failure is not an option, because I know where I want to be. And even if I'm not that, I'm going to pretend to be that. And they will do anything and sacrifice anything and anybody to get what they want, or put themselves in a superior position. That is something that everyone should do. Work to be the best you could be, not lie and hurt people. But what I'm saying is, that's one thing about narcissists. If you've had them abuse you and be in your world, and you had a narcissistic mother like I did, what you will learn is they are overachievers. Even, and they're gonna cut you, because if they did that to you as a daughter, that means they see you as a threat, and they have no mercy, baby. They have no love, no guilt, no regret about stabbing their own fucking daughter. If they feel like you're more talented than them and you're more gifted than them, and they're angry about it because they gave birth to you and you're supposed to be lesser because they were born first, they will do what they can with their tongue, they ass. They'll sleep with your nigga. They'll sleep with when you start developing in high school. They'll sleep with all your fucking boyfriends, or try to sleep with them because they mad because they not a teenager no more. They feel like they running out of time, or trying to show you that they still got it, or fuck with you because they want to put lies in your mind that these boys don't want you, they all want me. And try to destroy and talk their daughter down and set them up for failure and not prepare them for the future or get their education or none of that shit. When a woman, a narcissist, sees you as a threat, she don't give a fuck about you being her daughter. And your tears and beating you and lying on you and humiliating you and degrade you, it just makes her more angry. And now you are not just my daughter, that I don't have emotional attachments to you. You're a weak, stupid bitch up here crying over me being your mama, stabbing you in the back. You want my love and you want me to be your mama. And bitch, you can't even see that. Even though I gave birth to you, I'm a rotten ass bitch. And I should be the last one that you want to love you and be around you. Because look, bitch, I throwed you under the goddamn bus the moment I had your motherfucking stupid ass. And I'm telling you, that's how my mother would talk to me and talk to her other daughter and talk to women and talk about women that she was jealous of, that she hated. That is a real bad position to be in. I remember being like 4, 5, 6 years old, and I would not tell my grandmother when my mother would come visit me in the projects at my grandmother's house, who she gave me to. When I was alone with her, I know now, I knew then, but I didn't know the names or anything. I knew that, like, I was an empath. I could see and hear spirits, and I could see and read people's minds. And I knew my mother didn't like me. I knew my mother didn't love me, and I knew that she didn't want to take me with her. But to me, because she was so pretty and so fine and she smelled so good, and every time I was around her, all her stuff was new and her car was new and it was clean, and all her friends looked just like her. And whenever she would let me go to her house to stay for a couple of hours, everything was nice and organized and clean and pretty. And one thing I noticed, baby, there was never a little girl's room. My mother would have 1 bedroom apartments. And even when I was little, I understood what that meant. That little bitch, this is my bachelorette pad. I come and go. I do what I want to do when I want to. And I made sure I bought no accommodations for you, little bitch. So, don't think that this is about you. And I started seeing very early, see, these are the kind of things that set you up to be a god and a goddess of your own world and to manifest your reality uh, in power or in pain and loss, and being always a subordinate to another bitch, and always losing to another bitch, and always having a nigga in your life that treats you like a hoe and somebody he can take or leave, because that's the teacher that you were given, that you have no control over, and you can't escape this bitch or go for no recess because you a child and you were born into her domain. So she is the female lioness in there. And instead of this bitch feeding and protecting you and fighting with the lion daddy, this bitch is the one that's feasting on you and motherfucking devouring you and basically preparing you to be thrown out in the world for the motherfucking kill of any other bitch that carries that energy. Where those bitches feel like they're entitled to everything and you're entitled to nothing, bitch. Cause I was fucking to get your daddy or to get something from him, and he didn't want me or respect me. So bitch, if I and my mother actually told me that a few years ago, she was like, I knew when I saw your face when they pulled your ass out of me, you had your daddy's face. And I knew when he saw you, he was gonna fall in love with you and have your little ass all in the car and riding around and showing your motherfucking ass off because bitch, you a female him. And I knew what that meant for me. He was gonna pick you over me. And I looked at her and I said, what do you mean? I mean, you were his lover. I was his daughter. I couldn't fuck him. And she was like, it doesn't matter, because I knew inside of me that he was going to fall in love with you. And he was not going to fall in love with me. And then he was going to have you taking you everywhere. And he wasn't going to take me everywhere and showing you off. And I said, but you don't know that. He would have taken care of you. He would have taken care of me. You even say he told you that. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I already know that it would have been you over me. And I had made up my mind, even as a little girl, if I wasn't gonna have, now see, like I said, I'm already knowing now, I'm talking to a narcissist that is a compulsive liar and a paranoid goddamn schizophrenic who make up shit that ain't even real and a supreme narcissist, goddamn it, all wrapped into one and a psychotic drug addict bitch. So I'm talking to somebody that has no external sense of any connection to reality. Goddamn, this motherfucker's in the twilight zone every goddamn day, all day. This fucker is crazy and goddamn sick. And supposed to be a preacher on top of it. Snow powder, drinking, looking, sucking dick, sucking everybody else's husband dick 24/7. I've seen my mother go after men while she was married to her second husband that she's still with now, who's a stupid motherfucker. Just like Yogi Bear, Yogi and Boo Boo on that, they goddamn it call, hey Yogi, Boo Boo. This nigga is Boo Boo. Goddamn it, Boo Boo the fool. And go along with this Jose who mentally unstable, goddamn it, and do black magic. Man, that's a dynamic, that's a dynamite combination. You dealing with a bitch that's a psychic and an empath and that's mental ill and a junkie and a drunk and a whole all wrapped together, goddamn it. You better get away from the bitch, man. When you get old enough, if you can't get away from it, that's one thing. But if you dealing with people like this, it seems like every bitch I done met that did what they could to make me feel like I had no right to be on this planet, and they do, was just like my mama. Just like the combination of a goddamn psych patient, a sex addict, a junkie, a dick sucker, and a psych patient, and a psychic. I call themselves or read cards or something, wrapped all in one. And now you're the enemy and you're the goddamn problem. You the reason they can't get what they want. And let my mama tell her I was the reason that she couldn't get what she wanted. Goddamn it, you done had a baby, pulled the baby out your ass, and then said the baby is the obstruction. The baby is the problem that is obstructing me getting to the dick and the bag and the wedding band. This is how some of these motherfucking bitches feel. And they'll set you up to be murdered, sacrificed, and crucified, and self-crucifying and killed. This is, I know where my stuff comes from. And when your period is on and you journaling and dealing with this stuff, but this is really some shit you should deal with every day. If you had that type of mother and that background wrapped up with religion, the occult, dick, pussy, and powder, pussy, money, and weed, because my mama was also a drug dealer, a preacher, a psych patient, and a dick sucker, and a powder snort at the same time, and a drunk. And the bitch hid it well because nobody know. She had nice clothes, nice cars, money, all that. The bitch was totally psychotic, out of her goddamn mind. And you'd have to be around her to listen to her and shit or see them moments when this motherfucker high out of her mind and on that shit and on that slick powder and drinking and goddamn stopping at the red light, skeeting Visine in her eye and shit. Man. See, I'm just now coming to terms with this shit and really breaking this shit down. And I met women just like her back to back who would tell me, you don't have the right to be here. You're not worthy. You're not this. You're not that. But bitch, I'm that. I'm all of that. And you're going to get the fuck out of my way. And if you don't get the fuck out of my way, I'm going to trash you, humiliate you, degrade you, physically assault you, violate you. And I'm going to destroy your whole motherfucking world, bitch, and implode your world from the inside out. And that's what my mother did. And that's what other bitches did. Don't tell me I'm not the only one. Now, I know if y'all done been around narcissistic women like I have, y'all have walked into a room, whether it's with your co-workers or your boss or them bitches at the church or bitches at the motherfucking house, where you walk in, or the grandmama or your mama house, and everybody laughing and talking. And when you come in the room, all the bitches get quiet. This when you know you've been talked about, goddammit. You've been trashed and your throat has been cut, bitch. And your whole life has been imploded. That bitch done blowed up your spot and trying to destroy you from the inside out. Because that's the most powerful way to destroy you and to get you from the inside out. And you wondering, why do I not fit in? Why do I don't belong? Why my own family won't accept me? Why these bitches keep up shit? Why nobody won't tell me what the fuck been said before I get in that room and after I leave? Because everybody like everybody. But when I come in the room, everybody don't like me. See, that's because some fucked up shit, some salt in the game. And it's usually your mama, your auntie, your sister, Your brother, goddamn it, because some men could be just as vicious toward their sister and they lover and their wife and their friend as a goddamn hoe. Some of these men is built up ass niggas with whole tendencies in them that'll want to get approval of the women's in the family, a bitch they fucking or want to motherfucking fuck. And see, I sat with that. See, and that's how they treated us and treated me. And you stank when my first period. I was already told I was dumb and stupid and stank. And then when the period came, oh man, my mother got more vicious. And her tongue got more vicious. And then you watching your husband. She would even bring her husband in front of us. Would you try to fuck one of them? Do you find one of them attractive? But then she's asking them to look at me and do her leg shape better than mine? Which one calf look better, mine or hers? And what about her body? And I'm 12 years old. And you're creating a battle and a confrontation in your own home with your daughter that don't even fucking exist. But the bitch is saying that it do, and you trying to do this, and you looking at my man, and I'm just like, oh my God. And then attacking us about some shit that she done made up and like, this what God told. God ain't told you that, because I ain't, this nigga's a clown. Like, I wouldn't even sleep behind. I had so much respect for my mother, and she didn't even deserve it. I don't even know why I had it. I had to rationalize that in my wounded little girl's mind because she didn't earn it or deserve it. You left your kids with every fucking body and you didn't want them. And you told everybody you didn't want them and how you going to abuse them and throw them outside and let people use them and shit. When I think about all of that, and that goes back to what I said, this is all y'all fault right now. I never felt comfortable in my own skin as a woman. I was always embarrassed of having a vagina. When I got pregnant, my grandmother, my mother, and the women in the family talked about me and insulted me for having sex and for getting pregnant. And my pregnancy was awful. It was torturous. My mother would call my grandmother's house every day and say my baby was going to die in my womb or my baby's going to be retarded. She would torture me every day and I hadn't even done nothing to her. She put me out. I left. I left with the clothes on my back. She threw my clothes away and gave them to her friends, and God knows what else she did with them. And I still was trying to love her and respect her. And this lady was just this. I hate my children. I have children. You ain't shit, bitch. I'll kill you, bitch. I'll blow your brains out, bitch. It's like hearing this and her carrying her gun in her fucking pocket and pulling her gun and all this kind of shit. And it's like we didn't do anything to her to deserve it. And I still kept loving and respecting her. My grandmama telling me Jesus gonna fix it. You still love her. That's still your mother. If I can give y'all any advice and I could go back in time, I would never tell y'all to do that. You need to, a person like that is so sick and so wounded and so psychotic and so mentally ill, they just might kill you because some parents do kill their kids. And it's not a baby either. They will kill them as adults and create confrontations and want to kill their own children and watch the blood of their child leak out of their body. That's how sick and twisted these people are. And I was told to still tolerate her and let her in my life. So I'm looking at these things. And what I'm saying to you is, look, I'm not suggesting that you do what I do because a lot of you might not be emotionally strong enough to take that shit, to really sit up and think about that shit and move through that shit again, because those same emotions, those same hormones are going to come back alive because they're stored in your body. And what I do, which is what I suggest you would do, like I said, if you need mental help, if you need medication, I am not going to knock that shit while you're doing the work, because you got to do the work. I actually see the situation differently. I will see myself healing, or I will see the outcome I want to see. You don't keep seeing it the same way it is and then boo-hooing and feeling bad and beating yourself up about it and reinforcing the self-hate, negative feelings, and inferiority complexes. No, you work on healing those things and seeing the lies and the distortion and the illusion in those experiences, and you see yourself coming up out of them or seeing a different ending that makes you the winner, makes you victorious. Because it shifts the hormones. You have to shift the personality. You cannot hold on to the same personality and the same action or inaction and the same movement or lack of movement, the same thinking, and expect a change and expect victory and believe you have the right and the will and the purpose to be here like any other bitch that said you wasn't nothing to nobody in comparison to them. It's just a bitch. A human bitch. They gotta physically leave this world and have their body rot and die just like all of us. Unless you're gonna have it preserved, but you still got to get out of it. So when I thought about all of that and all that shame and pain stored in my body, and I started doing Nipsey readings, and he started speaking to me, he said, you're gonna have to really embrace your own pussy and the shame and pain you have around your pussy and the rightness of being a woman and the rightness of embracing your vagina and standing vagina power and fucking. I was like, how dare you talk to me? How you say that? And he's like, I said it. And I couldn't deny it. I was walking around in all this shame, and every relationship I had that was sexual was built on shame and pain, where somebody used my pussy against me as a weapon and somebody took my vagina power from me. But then I never had it. I never claimed it. I never stood in it until now. And when me and Shannon started becoming friends and we're like sisters, and we, started talking, and then Nips was like, why don't you dance? And I said, what are you talking about? Like, I can barely stand up. I'm having to really deal with being poisoned and mold poison and herb poison and all that, and swelling and inflammation. And he said, it doesn't matter. Just, even if you stand 15 minutes a day in your high heels. And he started going to my closet. He's like, I like those shoes right there. He liked these shoes where the toe is out in the front and the strap is around the ankle. He liked those shoes. And out of all my shoes in my closet, he liked those shoes. So he would point to all the ones that were designed like that. And he said, put that shoe on. I was like, no, why am I going to put that shoe on? I got to practice, learn how to walk. And he said, you're gonna wear the shoe. And I'm going to show you how to move. How he likes strippers. He likes to make it rain. He likes a stripper. So I said, what are you talking about? You want me to dance like? He said, yeah. I want you to stand up, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes a day. You'll strengthen your leg. You'll strengthen your calf. If you stand in the shoe. And I said, no. I thought you were here for a reading and you're going to tell me how to stand and move. He said, yes, I'm going to tell you how to stand and move. He said, because this is going to help you heal and come a vaginal power and heal your energy and get rid of the shame around it. And I was like, no. And at first I didn't, but then I thought about it and I knew he was right. And so I would do it sometimes when I felt good or had the energy. And then how did we come to this? I think when I told Shannon, he said, I want you to listen to the music and I want you to start dancing in your yard. Or you dance outside, and that's going to help strengthen you and heal you. And I said, I don't think so. They're going to laugh at me. I never, out of all these years I did Vagina Power, I never danced on video like that. I love the sexy dance, and I love the shake dancing and the stripping, but they going to laugh. I mean, this age, and I just found all kind of ways to talk myself out of it and told them no. I said, they going to laugh. And he was like, no, they're not. You don't take you seriously. You're going to laugh because you feel like all this unresolved stuff there and you never resolved it and you never embraced your sexuality. Even when you started teaching about vagina power, you had shame around your pussy and shame around sexuality. You wasn't even with nobody really most of the time. You dressed that way, you covered up, you had a lot of pain, a lot of insecurity, and a lot of issues, and you're not going to go nowhere, and you're not going to heal until you face your own pussy and you face your own fear around it, and you face all your failure and all your sexual relationships because you never believed in your pussy. And your own mother talked your pussy down but built her pussy up. See, y'all have to think about that. Another woman talking your pussy down and building her pussy game up. And it's the woman who pussy you came out of. The whole psychology behind it is to wreck you. To not check you, but wreck you. But the bitch act like she checking you and letting you know, I am that bitch. I am that diva, bitch. You are nobody. You will never be nobody. And I would know, and only I could know, bitch, because I gave birth to you. And I won't even co-sign you, bitch. And I won't even validate you, bitch, because my pussy is the motherfucking shit, bitch. And you'll always be beneath. That's some powerful shit. Your mother is your mirror.
And your mother's telling you that you are not divine and you will never stand in vagina power time and your pussy will never be great and you will never be able to lasso a nigga with your pussy and fuck him down into submission and have what the fuck you want and be treated like a goddess. Only she will. But then this bitch is mental ill. You dealing with a mental ill, supreme narcissistic junkie and slash drunken hoe. But you don't want to see that and you talk not to see that. That's your mama. She divine. She know this, that. This bitch is sick. How you going to talk another woman down that's a baby that came out of your ass and you not telling her to be great, goddammit? Goddammit, make America great again, bitch. Make your pussy great like Trump, bitch, and this motherfucker. This bitch is telling you nothing to nobody and you ain't even lived yet. You don't even know what a pussy is. Instead of this, your mama teach you how to hula hoop and ground and pop your pussy. This bitch is dismantling your pussy in your mind. And pussy power is a motherfucking mental science. You are first mental. You are elemental. Your spiritual power and the energy that brought yourself into the third dimensional mind to manifest in physical vagina power time. And this bitch is telling you nothing and you motherfucking nobody. Bitch, you are everything and you don't even motherfucking know it because you willed yourself into existence and the bitch is cutting your throat when you motherfucking 4 and 5 goddamn years old or leaving you and doing this shit and trying to incapacitate you when you are not even physically stable and have strong enough muscles and been trained to control your urine and your bowels. Before you even strengthen in the body and developed in the mind, this bitch is invalidating you and dropping you on someone else. And subliminally, she is already telling you, and you are already taking the position of an abandoned victim that has no power and vagina power as a feminine energy because she dropped you on someone else and said, I don't have time for you and you have no place in my life, you little bitch, because you're not powerful to me. I'm the one. I'm that bitch. And you're not realizing one day this bitch will meet her demise. One day she will get old. She will get decrepit and incapacitated, not because of chronological age, but because of the way she's played with her body, lied to herself, believed she was immortal with drugs and dick and dope and negative thinking and a fast lifestyle that has drawn her own demise. While she is illusional as a supreme narcissist, telling herself she's better than you and she's greater than you and she's living fast, and this bitch is delusional because she's so full of powder. This bitch don't know her ass from a hole in the motherfucking ground, but you don't know no better because you a baby. Listening to this bitch, you see her clothes, her money, her cars, her men, her houses, her things, and you don't realize at the time that the way she got it is a fast way of living and contaminating her own body with dick and dope and liquor and fine living and fast flying and jet setting and cars and calm all in the ass that she is gradually breaking down as fast as she's accumulating wealth. She is decompressing and dematerializing and self-destructing mentally, emotionally, and physically because all of the sins against herself and the sins against her children and living a reality that is a fucking fantastic voyage and a fantasy is basically at every second of every moment of every motherfucking day with that shit she put in her motherfucking nose and mouth and ass and dick center. It is gradually destroying the fibers that weave together her physical body and her physical mind. And she is living fast and elevating but deteriorating at the same motherfucking time. Huh? Because now I look at her. And I look at people that have lived that way and did that to their daughters. First thing you see, they start getting old and getting sick. That same daughter that they did that to, they want her to wait on them. Want her to feed them and wash their ass and give them a place to stay and take care of them. That is consuming more of your power that you never knew that you had. And when this started to speak to me like that and say I need to address that and heal that, I said, okay, Shan, come back. We're going to do this. I'm gonna dance. She said, what we gonna do? I said, just play the music. I want you to play this right here. And he said, this was gonna help me stand in vagina power and claim myself and claim my body. Yeah, shit. The first time, and we was laughing and came out there. I had my little the first video. I thought y'all was just all gonna crack jokes and shit. Y'all didn't. And I'm like, what the fuck are they seeing? Because I don't know what the fuck they're seeing. I mean, I'm not even happy with my life or my look or nothing. I'm trying to get myself, literally put myself back together. And they said, do it again. People said, we like it. Do it again. It's fun. You made us laugh. You hype us up. You inspired us. And do it again. I said, Shan, they said they want us to do it again. I just came outside the other day. I didn't even think. I know what I was going to do in front of the camera. She pulls up. She hits me with the music. I didn't even think. I was on autopilot. I just started moving. I didn't practice nothing. I didn't know nothing. I looked back at it. I said, oh, Shannon, we got to erase that. We cannot put that out there. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And she said, you is a motherfucking lie. I ain't finna erase shit. I'm gonna upload. I said, please don't. Ooh, Shannon, I changed my mind. Let's, ooh, looking at that. And then I thought about it. And I said, damn, you always, Nipsey was right. You was always shaming your pussy, ain't you? You ashamed of your ass. You never had nobody want you. You never, look, I'm just keeping it all the way real with y'all. You ain't never had nobody want you. You ain't never had nobody like you. You always wanted somebody to love you. They never did. You ain't love yourself. You sitting up there tearing this up and it's just a body. You got one body. You wasn't born as a man. You wasn't born as a hermaphrodite. You was born as a woman. And you've been taught ever since you was a little girl to dissociate who you are and dissociate from your pussy and been told you're dumb, you're stupid, you're nothing. Don't nobody want you. Ain't nobody gonna ever fucking want you. I'm your mom and I don't even want you. And you stupid and you have no value. And you believe that and you got a world that you didn't want. Everything you wanted that you felt that you deserved, really a part of you felt like you didn't. And you sabotaged and talked yourself out of it and you didn't make demands and you might have said you wanted to be treated a certain way, but you really didn't mean that and you didn't live that. You just let people pick you and just get along and you still got fucked. And you never liked it and respected yourself. I feel like you had no value and respect your pussy. And you sitting here trying to do this shit again and you saying everybody gonna laugh at you and everybody gonna make fun of you and who wants to see that, and because everybody said that to you and all the people that you loved and respect, your mother said that to you, your ex said that to you, everybody that was close to you said that to you, while they went out and got what the fuck they wanted and believed in the rightness of they pussy and fought for what they wanted and stood up for themselves and set their goals and structured their life and set up boundaries and what type of relationships they would and wouldn't have and what types of games they would and wouldn't play and got what the fuck they wanted. And you sitting here looking and feeling like you're nothing and nobody, you have no place to be and no right to be, even though you're starting to claim that and you're going to do this. And Shannon was like, hell fucking no. I ain't erasing shit. And then her son and his friend was there like, no, we ain't erasing nothing. I mean, and they're younger than me, and they sitting up there telling me, basically, I need to embrace myself, embrace my pussy, and we ain't erasing the goddamn thing. And I'm like, I'm looking at them and my eyes is bucking, and her son gets out of the car. And he was like, Alexis, you don't understand. He's like, you look great. He had never seen me in person. He's like, you look great. You're beautiful. What? No, you're amazing. And I'm just like, he's saying it loud and I'm looking at him and I'm confused. My eyes are bucking and my mouth is open and nothing's come out of my mouth. And I'm like, why do you see that? Where do you see that? Why are you saying that? Oh God. Oh boy. I'm just like, is something wrong with him? Like, does is he seeing what? Is he looking at me? Oh, oh God. That's so sad that I'm saying that to you, but that's what I felt. And I'm like, why? Why am I saying that? Why do I feel like that? I mean, and as I danced and I didn't think about the movement, my body just moved by itself. What I realized was, and it was like that's why I told you all to do it. Especially if you've, like me, and you've gotten older, chronologically older, and you have a lot of trauma and pain in the body. Have so much trauma in the body. My body was holding all the trauma and the pain, especially my pussy and my uterus. Thank God I still have all of my, I've never had a hysterectomy or anything like that. I have all my organs, and I could feel it all, the pain, the fear, all the apprehension. It was so much locked inside of my vagina, locked in my body, locked in my heart, locked in my liver, my kidneys, my heart, my breast, my head, that as my body just started shaking and just rolling my pussy because I was taught to be ashamed of it. You're nothing. You stink. You're nobody. Nobody's ever going to want you. And as I'm shaking and I'm rolling and I'm unapologetic and I'm not thinking about the movement, my body's just moving the way it's always wanted to move. All of this stuff is just coming up out of me energetically, and I took my shoes off and I'm feeling all of this stuff and all this trauma and this pain which happened in this house and on this yard, and it's just coming up in my body. It's just the first time I felt free to just throw my pussy and just shake and let it just do what it wants. The mind in my body to just do what it wants. And then I'm trying to take it back, and people, everybody in the car, and Shannon and her children were like, no, you're not taking a goddamn thing back. And they had to put it up. I was scared to put it up. And when they put it up, you all, that's why I said it's all y'all's fault. It was like y'all laughed and you danced with me. And you encouraged me to be free. And I've never felt free in my life. I've never felt comfortable because the women always beat me up and beat us down, and called us names, and you stank and all this kind of shit. And having people to come into my life to validate that shit and then be abused just over and over and over and over. And my body, this is the first time. It's like after that, I know that everything is energetic because my stomach, everything that night after that, I didn't even eat that day. And my stomach just tore up. That was Sunday we did a dance. It was tore up Sunday. It was tore up Monday. It was tore up till last night. It's then I thought about it, and my pipe burst because popcorn didn't do a good job on the pipe again, and it burst at the same time that I danced. And I said, what is the guts of a house? The pipes and the water flowing through the pipes. What is the guts of the body? The intestines and the water and the waste, they move through the body. They either bound up or they clean out the body. When I started breaking that stuff up in my body, and the body said, no, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. I literally didn't think about it. And then I was talking to some women on the phone. They called me. They said, well, so we know what your ass be doing, goddamn. That's why that nigga won't leave you alone. I said, what are you talking about? I didn't do I didn't do nothing. I haven't danced In years, I could barely move. I can't goddamn it tell. I said, okay. The only thing I could think of is Nips was telling me how to move, and he would tell me this is the way to open up and embrace my pussy energy to start shifting. I said, so I would do that sometimes, but not much. I don't know what the fuck happened. My body just did what it wanted, what it's been wanting to do, and all the shame around it, I would block it. And then it just, I don't know what the fuck happened. But now I realize too, we're into a new eclipse coming up with giving birth, and which is that feminine energy and vagina power. And she told me, well, your body still move like it's young to me. Goddamn it! I mean, I'm told. I mean, you don't move like an older woman the way your body grind. I said, what the fuck y'all? And I look back at it and I said, damn, I don't even know. I ain't even remember doing that and rolling like that. Goddamn. Then I said, damn. Then I bent over and wobbled my ass. I said, I don't even know how to fucking do that shit. And I'm just like, damn. And I jumped up quick too. Shit, I ain't sit up there and get no catching my hip or fall or nothing. I said, goddamn, I ain't, it look like I practiced. I ain't even practiced that shit. I ain't never did that shit. I just came out there and hit the ground, whoop, and jumped up. I said, what the fuck? And I bust out laughing. I said, God damn. Where the fuck that come from? I really don't remember. It's like I just went into trance and my whole body just said, fuck this shit, bitch. And fuck you. You been holding back and holding us back, bitch. Now we finna do what the fuck we want to do. And just went off. And it's like when y'all laughed and y'all celebrated it, I watched it now. It's bust out there. I said, oh my God. Y'all made me feel young. You made me feel alive. You helped me heal a real dark, heartbroken place in me that's been painful for a long time, and being touched in pain. Not having men touch me in love, but touch me in pain. And who was the first person that touched me, that was supposed to love me and consecrate me and help me become a beautiful, strong, powerful woman? My mother. When your mother beats you and humiliates you and degrades you, that's the first woman you know. That's the first woman you admire or want to be like. And that woman puts her hands on you, not in love, but in violence, and then encourage other people to do it. You walk that life. I've had a lifetime of that. And now it makes sense to me, which is one reason I decided to be celibate again, just pull away from that, because many of us, okay, I'm gonna say this one more thing and I'm gonna get out of your way. I'm gonna go, and I'm looking forward to your feedback and your response. I love it when y'all talk to each other under the comments and click like and subscribe, y'all. The more you talk, the more you click like and subscribe. It helps it, go up in the algorithms. And I like it when you talk to me and you give me your thoughts and your opinions. And it gets hard for me to be so open with you all and be so transparent, and it hurts. But and people be like, you shouldn't tell your business, you shouldn't share these things. But these are things from my past. These are not things I'm dealing with right now, or letting somebody use me or fuck me. I'm not doing none of that. I don't mind sharing with you the things I learned from my past, and how I'm a late bloomer. I'm starting to evolve and grow now. I'm starting to heal now. This is something that I should have never went through. And if I did, I should have had the right role models to teach me to heal younger. But in teens and 20s, and grow in power instead of rise in brokenness and pain. But I just don't, to me, like holding pain for the rest of my life and dying with it doesn't really do anything for me or help me grow. I rather share it with y'all. And I don't really care if people laugh or make fun of it. I mean, because it's over. It's in my past. And now I'm trying to do something constructive with it to heal myself, as well as share it with you all that want to know and want to hear it and want to learn from my pain. But this is one thing too that I realized, and one of the reasons why I stopped having sex with men, as far as like somebody that's making me abusing me, or you cold with me one minute, you're hot with me another minute, just like with my ex. And and we good 1 minute and I ain't did nothing to you, then all of a sudden you create the chaos and the drama because people that are narcissistic like that, they really don't like balance and peace. They like to create conflict and chaos because it's exciting and it's an adrenaline rush for them. They like the chaos of when you're too nice and when it's too comfortable. That's why niggas cheat because you got the wrong nigga. You be like, or the wrong bitch. Like, why is it he said he wanted a home that was stable, a good wife, good cooking, good sex, a good mother, a good teacher, a good helpmeet, a good friend, and I'm doing everything he wants me to do the way he wants me to do it. I'm putting on different wigs, I'm being different women to him, I'm learning dick sucking, I'm doing everything I can do, and it's like the more I do, he fucking around still. That's the problem because you're doing everything the nigga telling you to do. Because you don't realize you're dealing with a narcissistic, conflicted individual who likes to love bomb when the hormones are high for loving and bonding and attachment. And then when a nigga gets bored and that phase wears off, you're just normal and you're just flat, and he doesn't feel the rush anymore and the excitement, and you're dull. So I need to create drama and have this same excitement, this rush, and it's feeling. So I go get it from someone else. And you know what? It never ends. It's always someone else and something different because the love bonding is just for a phase. So because you've been emotionally deprived and you've been beat up in the body, your body's holding this shit like I did with me. Anytime you have an incredible sexual experience with them or a small time of bonding with them, because you were groomed to be off and on, and there's 1 minute your parent would love bomb you, and the next minute they can't stand you and get the fuck out of my face, and they walk by you in the same house that you live in like they don't know you. You're a stranger, and I wish you'd get the fuck out of my space. You'll attract people to do that, and you'll attract lovers. So when you're having sex with them and the euphoria, especially if it's a mental, emotional, and spiritual and physical bond with them, and they are holding you and you feel the warmth of them and their hands and the touch and the sensual experience, you associate that with love and the body memory and the body hunger and the craving for that love and the warmth of a hug and a kiss and the touch and the orgasmic experience wraps around you because you never knew the love as a child. And the bonding, and it was off and on and up and down. So any little bit of kindness or sexual engagement with the hormones and the feelings and the emotions, the sensuality, you will take those pockets and hold on to those as much as you can. It's like a warm blanket of comfort. And then when it's over, you're cold and you're lonely and you're isolated again. And you'll do anything for that experience, the body hunger and the soul hunger and the craving, because there's a detachment from your own soul and your own self and your own self-love and self-worth and self-power. And that's why people will get high with groups or shoot things like heroin or other drugs where you can bond and feel a warmth and a sexual experience and a closeness and a connection with somebody and an orgasmic experience and a warmth, and where it's an acceptance, even though you know that shit is destroying you. You don't think about it at the time because of the camaraderie and the bonding and the feeling that I feel, and these sensations and the heightened level of orgasm and taking the meth and all that. Many times when people do that and they get in sexual experiences and they're quick and they're exciting and they're a rush and they're new and they're fast, because they associate that with warmth, comfort, and love that they didn't get. Usually when somebody does that and they have a lot of sexual experiences and wild experience and they tie the drugs into it to heighten the experience, or it's off and on, back and forth, and they try to bond with someone sexually, because those are minute moments in time where they get to feel the warmth and the love, as opposed to all the coldness and abuse and the non-exception and the rejection and the abandonment of the wounded inner child within them. And you're like, why can't you shake this addiction? Why are you just a junkie? Why you can't listen? Why you can't learn? You in jail, you get out of jail, we bond you out, you get and go to rehab, you leave rehab, or you get off of it and you do well and you get back on, because you don't know. It's something the person's not telling you. Or some of you are not seeing that person's usually a wounded inner child that's looking for love, warmth, and acceptance and a bond. So the mind doesn't know. The subconscious doesn't know the difference from the warm sensation and a dick up in them on an orgasm from a drug than the bonding and love of a warm hand or hands around you and love of your mother and your father that you did not receive, baby. That's who, you know what? This is a whole level of different level of church. God damn it. I don't know. I just got ready. It took all this time for me to come into the knowing this. I don't really know. Y'all say y'all ready for this here. I don't know if you ready for this here. I don't really know if you want to go to the other levels of it by going into the deep, painful, dark abyss of your subconscious mind, bitch, to wake up and stand up in vagina power, goddammit. Now you hit my cash app and you make it motherfucking wobble and drop low and goddammit grab your kneecaps and clap. If you really want some more of this here, you really want some more Drip Nation? Go get your tambourine to beat your pussy. Just like Marvin Gaye said, you ready to stand up in vagina power and get some of that sanctified pussy? Huh? To cleanse and disaffect and resurrect? Huh? Your mind and your pussy and your body to stand in vagina power time? Huh? You ready for it? Have mercy, hallelujah. You want to join the Lexus K. Tyler Vagina Power Church and the Vagina Power Revolution? I don't think you heard me. I don't know what you've been told. But our vaginas are made of gold. Bitch, stand in vagina power, goddammit.